Hello friends, Zachary Stockill here from retroactivejealousy.com, and in today's video I'm going to share one of my all-time favorite quotes and favorite practices for overcoming any kind of jealousy, particularly obsessive jealousy and retroactive jealousy. So longtime viewers of this channel and certainly longtime readers of my blog at retroactivejealousy.com, you might be sick of hearing me talk about Stoic philosophy. One of my all-time favorite books, and I think one of the best books for just about any jealousy sufferer to read, is a book called Meditations by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. It's thousands of years old and it's just as timely and just as valuable today as it was when it was written all those years ago. And the book is basically a distillation of all of the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor. And to this day, we don't know if this book was intended to be published, because it really reads like a collection of notes to self, so to speak. A collection of thoughts, a collection of aphorisms, which were personally resonant to Marcus Aurelius when he was ruling Rome. And it's a remarkable book. I strongly encourage you to read it. I think I talked about it a little bit in another video in which I recommended books for male retroactive jealousy sufferers. You can find a link to that in the description. But anyway, I could go on and on about this book. It's one of my all-time favorites. And in particular, I think it is absolutely crucial for obsessive jealousy / retroactive jealousy sufferers to read. And one of my favorite quotes from the book is very simple. The quote is, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" End quote. Is this necessary? How many times when we're struggling with obsessive jealousy, retroactive jealousy, anything like that, how many times, how frequently are we engaging in activities, are we engaging with thoughts that are 100% unnecessary? And this is one of the best things about this book. This is one of the reasons why I love this book so much, because it kind of cuts through all the BS. It's not fluffy. You'll find zero fluff in this book. It's a short, concise little book. And so much of it gets right to the point, right to the heart of the matter. How can we live a better life? How can we be good, honorable human beings? How can we work when we need to get work done? How can we have better relationships with the people who are important to us? How can we go to bed at the end of the day feeling like we mattered, feeling like us showing up in the world mattered, feeling like we did more good than harmed the people who are important to us over the course of the day? Now, anyone watching this who is struggling with obsessive jealousy, retroactive jealousy, I am willing to bet that more than once you have gone to bed, gone to sleep at the end of the day, feeling like you wasted a lot of time and feeling like you wasted a lot of energy, feeling like you focused on a number of practices or perspectives or activities which were not necessary, which did not serve you, and which certainly did not serve the person or the people you care about the most. And so this practice, and really I think it's best to call it a practice rather than a quote, this active practice of constantly asking ourselves in every moment, is this necessary, is a great North Star for navigating the waters of relationships, is a great North Star for navigating the waters of obsessive jealousy, retroactive jealousy. So the next time you feel this impulse to ask your partner questions that you really don't need the answer to, or to re-ask them, repeat the same questions that you've already asked them 500 times, or to waste an hour or 2 or 3 or 4, stalking their past on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, or wasting time at 4 in the morning when you should be sleeping, engaged in some men's rights activist forum or something like that. Is this necessary? Another reason why I really love this quote, and one reason why I find it so useful in my own life, is because one thing I think is true for most people is we know our pitfalls. We know our own BS, so to speak. What I'm trying to say is we know our dark side. Usually if we check in with ourselves, if we check in with our gut, if we check in with our intuition, we know when we're wasting time, when we're engaged in activities or practices that are really not helpful, when we are messing around, so to speak, when we should be diverting our time and attention and energy in actual productive endeavors. We know ourselves pretty well, and thus we can call ourselves out on our own BS. And as long as we remember this statement, this phrase, this practice, ask yourself at any moment, is this necessary? Just kind of keeping this in mind during the day, it's a great way to ensure that we go to bed at night with a relatively clear conscience, feeling like we didn't waste a lot of time and energy today. We focused on the things that are within our control, number one. And two, we focused on things that are actually important, the things that actually matter to us. So I don't want to go on too long. I wanted to keep this one relatively short, but I would just encourage you to play with this over the course of the next week or the course of the next 2 weeks, shall we say, and just kind of keep this thought in your head. Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Because if you get good at this, if you really keep this at the forefront of your consciousness over an extended period of time, you'll notice that it'll become more or less automatic. You'll be calling yourself out on your own BS more and more and more the more you keep this in mind, the more you remember that we're all going to die, frankly. Our time in this earth is limited. Our time with our partner is limited. And frankly, you need to be spending your time on things that actually matter, that are actually going to get you where you want to go. Not wasting time dwelling on the past that doesn't matter anymore, not asking your partner more questions that don't really matter, focusing on the things that are within your control, focusing on the things that are actually important, that are actually going to serve you and the people you care about. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. And what do you think of this? Have you heard this phrase before? Have you read Marcus Aurelius' book, Meditations? Do you plan to read his book? I'd love to hear from you, so be sure to leave a comment below. Be sure to like this video. And if you wouldn't mind, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be updated about all the future videos that I have coming out very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.